The Tower of Babel is a biblical story found in the book of Genesis, Genesis 11:1-9, that seeks to explain the origins of different languages and the dispersion of humanity across the earth. The narrative is part of the Judeo-Christian tradition and has been interpreted in various ways over the centuries, often symbolizing human pride, ambition, and the consequences of overreaching.
Summary of the story. The story begins after the Great Flood, when all humanity is said to have spoken a single language. The people, seeking to make a name for themselves and avoid being scattered across the earth, decided to settle in the land of Shinar, often identified with ancient Babylonia in Mesopotamia. There, they proposed to build a city with a tower that reached into the heavens, intending to demonstrate their power and unity. However, this act of pride and defiance caught the attention of God, Yahweh, who saw their project as an attempt to challenge divine authority. To prevent humanity from succeeding in this endeavor, God confused their language so that they could no longer understand each other, making cooperation impossible. As a result, the construction of the tower was abandoned, and the people were scattered across the world, giving rise to the multitude of languages and cultures that exist today. The unfinished city and tower were called Babel, which is often associated with the Hebrew word balal, meaning to confuse.
Key themes and symbolism. Human ambition and pride. The tower represents human ambition to reach divine status or to control their destiny without acknowledging their limitations. It is often seen as a cautionary tale about the dangers of hubris and collective overreach. Unity and diversity. The story begins with a united humanity, but ends with linguistic and cultural diversity. The scattering of the people symbolizes the complexity and variety of human civilization, but also hints at the loss of harmony that can come from collective pride.
Language and communication. The confusion of languages is central to the story, reflecting the idea that communication is crucial for cooperation and societal progress. The story offers an ancient explanation for why people speak different languages and live in separate parts of the world. Divine intervention. God's intervention in the project suggests that there are limits to human endeavors, especially when those endeavors are driven by pride or challenge divine authority. It emphasizes the belief that God controls the ultimate fate of humanity.
Historical and cultural context. Babylon. The story is often associated with the city of Babylon, a powerful ancient Mesopotamian civilization known for its monumental architecture, including ziggurats, large stepped temple towers. Some scholars believe the story of the Tower of Babel might have been inspired by a monarchy, a ziggurat dedicated to the god Marduk in Babylon, which was one of the largest structures of its time. Sumerian influence. The tower may also reflect Sumerian myths and ancient traditions regarding the construction of massive temple complexes, representing the link between the earthly and divine realms. The concept of towers or temples reaching toward the heavens is common in ancient Near Eastern cultures.
Interpretations. Religious interpretation. For many religious believers, the Tower of Babel is a literal account of humanity's early history, demonstrating God's sovereignty over the world and illustrating the reasons for linguistic and cultural differences. Symbolic and allegorical readings. Some view the story as a parable about the limits of human unity and the dangers of centralized power or authoritarian control. It can be seen as a critique of imperialism, especially with Babylon symbolizing human arrogance and empire building. Linguistic diversity. The Tower of Babel has long been used as a metaphor for the diversity of languages and the challenges of cross-cultural communication, a theme that resonates in today's globalized world.
Tower of Babel in art and literature. The story of the Tower of Babel has been a rich source of inspiration for artists, writers, and thinkers throughout history. Some notable examples include art. The story has been depicted in numerous paintings, most famously by Peter Bruegel the Elder in his 16th century work, The Tower of Babel, which shows a massive, spiraling structure that reaches into the clouds, symbolizing the human attempt to touch the heavens. Literature and philosophy. Writers like Jorge Luis Borges and philosophers like Jacques Derrida have used the Tower of Babel as a metaphor for language, confusion, and the limits of human understanding.
Legacy and modern usage. In modern times, the term Babel has become synonymous with confusion, particularly in relation to language or communication. It's often referenced in discussions about the complexities of multilingualism or the challenges of cooperation in a fragmented world. In computing, for example, Babel is used as a metaphor for incompatible systems or languages. In sum, the Tower of Babel story is a profound narrative that addresses themes of human ambition, divine authority, and the diversity of languages and cultures, issues that remain relevant across religious, historical, and philosophical discussions to this day. Thank you for watching the video, The Tower of Babel, provided by History and Current Events. This is Sarah, Lily, Gina, Bill, Brian, and Tony have contributed so far as narrators. Thank you.